You feel it, don't you? A quiet disquiet in your soul, a sense that the path you are walking, the one the world has laid out for you, is leading somewhere you were never meant to go. You see the smiles on the faces around you. You hear the noise of progress, the endless chatter of distractions, yet a part of you remains still and silent and waiting. You are waiting for a voice you have forgotten how to hear, a truth you have been taught to ignore. I am here now. My name is Hildegard, and I have crossed 900 years of silence to speak to you. If this message already touches your heart, like this video, subscribe and comment with the word prophecy. My time on earth was a whisper in the grand chorus of history, a flicker of light in a dark age. But the visions given to me were not for my time alone. They were seeds planted in the soil of eternity, meant to sprout when the world needed them most. And that time is now. A great VAU has been drawn over the eyes of humanity, a soft, comfortable fabric woven from promises of ease and threads of illusion. It blurs the edges of truth and falsehood, making the shadows seem like safe havens, and the light seem blindingly harsh. You have felt this veil. You have felt its weight when you try to pray, when you seek meaning, when you look at the world and feel a profound sense of homesickness for a home you cannot name. You are told to keep walking, to keep striving, to keep climbing a ladder that leads nowhere. You are told that the emptiness you feel is a flaw within you, a failure to adapt, a weakness to be medicated or ignored. But I am here to tell you it is not a weakness. That emptiness is a sacred space. It is the hollow of a bell waiting to be struck. It is the one part of you that the world has not managed to fill with noise, the one pure chamber of your heart that still remembers its true purpose. Why am I speaking to you now, across a chasm of 900 years? Because the whispers of your soul have finally become loud enough to break through the static of the ages. You have called for a sign, for a guide, for a reason to hope, and that call has echoed into the past, finding me in my visions. Do not think of me as a saint of cold stone in a distant church. Think of me as the part of your own consciousness that has never forgotten the way home. I am the memory of the living light that flows in your veins. For centuries, this knowledge has been kept from you, not by force, but by distraction, by a relentless tide of trivialities designed to keep your eyes fixed on the ground, so you would never look up and see the stars, or look inward and see the universe you carry within you. They want you to believe you are small, powerless, a random occurrence in a meaningless cosmos. But your existence is a miracle of such magnitude that if you could see it for even a second, it would shatter every lie you have ever been told. This is why I must speak with such urgency. The path ahead of you is diverging. Two roads are appearing where there was once only one, and the choice of which to take is rapidly approaching. One road leads to the perpetuation of the veil, a deeper sleep, a world where the soul is forgotten entirely. The other leads to an awakening so profound it will remake the very foundations of your reality. But you cannot walk that second path blindly. You must walk it with eyes wide open, with a heart prepared for what is to come. There are things you must understand, forces you must recognize, and truths you must anchor within yourself before you take another step. The message I carry is not one of comfort alone. It is a warning. It is a map. It is a key. Do you feel the truth in these words? It is not my voice you recognize, but the echo of your own soul's longing. You have been walking in a haze for so long, and a part of you is beginning to demand clarity. A part of you is ready to tear the veil from your own eyes. But to do that, you must first understand the nature of the fabric itself, what it is made of, and who placed it there. The visions I was shown revealed not only the divine destination, but also the earthly dangers that line the path. And that is why I am here. I am here to arm you, not with weapons of iron, but with weapons of spirit and light. So, listen closely. Let my voice be an anchor in the storm of your thoughts. Allow these words to penetrate deeper than your ears, to settle into that sacred empty space within you. The time for sleepwalking is over. The time for passive acceptance has passed. A choice is being laid before you, before all of humanity, and what you do next, the very next step you take in your life, may determine the course of your journey through eternity. You have been prepared for this moment, even if you do not realize it. Every sorrow, every joy, Every struggle has been forging you into the person who could hear this message today. You are ready. But what exactly did I see? And why has it returned to haunt the world now? Part 2. A direct call to the heart. Approximately 1,000 words. Come closer. Let the world around you fade away for a moment. I want to speak directly to your heart, to the part of you that hides from the judgment of others, the part that carries your silent sorrows. I know your weariness. I know the ache of a prayer that seems to go unanswered. I know what it feels like to scream into a pillow, to walk through a crowd feeling utterly and completely alone. You have built walls around your heart to protect it, haven't you? Walls of cynicism, of indifference, of quiet resignation. You have learned that hoping too much leads to disappointment, that trusting too easily leads to betrayal. And so you hold your fragile core in a guarded fortress, letting few people in, and letting even less of your true self out. This fortress has kept you safe, but it has also become your prison. It has muffled the sounds of the world, yes, but it has also muffled the whispers of the divine. You long for connection, for a love that sees you for who you truly are, yet you fear the very vulnerability required to receive it. You yearn for meaning, for a purpose that sets your soul on fire, yet you have been taught to pursue comfort and security above all else. This conflict rages within you, a quiet civil war that drains your energy and dims your inner light. You look in the mirror and sometimes see a stranger, a person playing a role, going through the motions of a life that doesn't feel entirely their own. When did you lose the script? When did you forget your lines? But I am here to tell you that this pain, this profound isolation, is not a punishment. It is a purification. You have been emptied out for a reason. You have been brought to your knees so that you might finally look up from a new perspective. The world breaks everyone, but it is in the broken places that the light can enter. Your suffering has not been in vain. It has been tilling the soil of your soul, preparing it for a seed that could not grow in hard, unbroken ground. You have been brought to a place of profound silencio, a silence so deep it feels like an abyss. You have mistaken this silence for absence, for abandonment. You have thought that God was not speaking. But the truth is, God does not shout over the noise of the world. He waits for the world to fall away, for you to be still enough to hear the most subtle of melodies. It is in the great silencio that the divine finally speaks. It is not a voice of booming thunder, but a warmth that spreads through your chest. It is a sudden knowing, a moment of clarity that cuts through years of confusion. It is the feeling of being seen, truly seen, from the inside out. This silence is the temple into which you must walk. Do not fear it. Do not try to fill it with more noise, more distraction, more meaningless tasks. Stand in it. Breathe in it. Let it hold you. It is the womb of your rebirth. It is the space where you can finally hear your own true name being spoken. And once you hear it, you will never again be satisfied with the labels the world has given you. If you are ready to stand in this sacred space and listen, I want you to affirm your choice. Write in the comments, I choose the light. This path is not an easy one. Choosing the light means you must be willing to look at your own shadows. It means you must have the courage to forgive those who have hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because your soul deserves to be free from the poison of resentment. It means you must forgive yourself for the mistakes you have made, for the times you betrayed your own heart. It is a path of radical responsibility, where you stop blaming the world for your circumstances and start reclaiming your power to create your reality from the inside out. It is terrifying, and it is the only path to true freedom. I know you are afraid. I know the thought of dismantling those walls you so carefully built is daunting. What if you get hurt again? What if you open your heart only to have it broken? These are the fears of the mind, the ego, which seeks only self-preservation. But your soul does not seek safety. It seeks growth. It seeks experience. It seeks to love. Your soul knows that a heart that is never broken is a heart that has never truly lived. It knows that every scar is a testament to your courage, a map of your journey back to wholeness. So, I ask you to take a small step. Right now, place a hand over your heart. Close your eyes, just for a moment. Feel the beat. That rhythm is a miracle. It is the drumbeat of the cosmos playing just for you. With every beat, it says, you are alive, you are here, you matter. Breathe into that feeling. Let go of the story of who you think you are, and just be the life that is flowing through you. In this moment of stillness, you are connected to everything that has ever lived and everything that ever will. You are not alone. You have never been alone. You have only been listening to the wrong voices. You have been listening to the voice of fear, of doubt, of inadequacy. But underneath them all, there is another voice, a current of love that has been flowing towards you since the beginning of time. And it was in that silence, that sacred, terrifying silence, that I was given the vision. Part 3. The Vision of Saint Hildegard. Approximately 900 words. In the deepest silence, when my body was weak and the world outside my window had faded to a distant murmur, it came. It was not a dream. It was more real than the stone walls of my cell, more real than the breath in my lungs. It began not with an image, but with a sound, a single resonant tone that seemed to vibrate from the center of the earth to the highest heavens. It was the sound of a great trombeta, but not one of war or judgment. It was a trumpet of awakening, a celestial note that shook loose everything that was false, everything that was built on lies. Can you imagine a sound that could shatter illusions? A frequency that could realign your very cells to the frequency of truth? As this sound washed over me, the darkness behind my closed eyes was torn apart, not by a gentle dawn, but by a river of living light that poured from a source I could not comprehend. This was not the light of the sun or a candle. It was light as a substance, light as intelligence, light as love. It flowed into every corner of the vision, and it had a voice. It did not speak in words, but in pure understanding that downloaded directly into my soul. It was the viaz of the Creator, not as a distant king on a throne, but as an intimate, all-encompassing presence. It was the voice of the stream, the mountain, the star, and the beat of my own heart, all speaking in perfect harmony. The voice told me that humanity was sleeping, dreaming a collective nightmare of separation and fear. It showed me souls as brilliant points of light, each one a unique expression of the divine, but they had forgotten their nature. They saw themselves as small and isolated, flickering dimly in the dark, competing with one another for resources and recognition. They had forgotten that they were all connected, all part of the same great fire, the same magnificent tapestry of existence. They were building walls around their little lights, trying to protect their flame, not realizing that the walls were blocking the very oxygen that would make them burn brighter. And then, the vision shifted. The trumpet sounded again, louder this time, and with that sound, I saw some of the lights begin to flicker more brightly. They began to remember. A wave of remembrance swept across the landscape of souls. It was not a memory of the mind, of facts and figures. It was a memory of the heart, a feeling of returning home. And as these lights grew brighter, they began to see the threads of connection between them, shimmering golden cords that linked every soul to every other soul. They realized that their strength was not in their isolation, but in their communion. What would happen if you truly saw the golden thread that connects you to every person you meet? Would you still feel so alone? The voice then showed me the great danger. It showed me other forces, shadowy forms that thrived on the fear and division. They were the architects of the veil. Their purpose was to keep the lights dim, to keep the souls separated, because they fed on the energy of despair, anger, and hopelessness. They whispered lies into the ears of the sleeping souls. You are not enough. You are unworthy. You are alone. They amplified every doubt, every insecurity, turning small anxieties into consuming terrors. Their greatest weapon was convincing each soul that the shadows were the only reality. They were masters of illusion, and their power grew every time a soul chose fear over love. This is the great spiritual war that is being waged, not on a battlefield of earth and stone, but in the landscape of your own consciousness. It is the battle between remembrance and forgetting, the battle between connection and separation, the battle between the voice of love and the whispers of fear. And you, right now, are standing on that battlefield. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every choice you make is a vote. You are casting a vote for which reality you wish to inhabit. The trumpet is sounding for you now. Can you hear it? It is a faint vibration behind the noise of your daily life, a call to awaken from the dream. The voice is speaking your name, reminding you of the magnificent light you carry within. But what I would see next, what followed that blast of light and sound, could only be revealed later, in its own time. for it concerned the very earth beneath your feet. The vision was not just about the souls of humanity, it was about the soul of the world itself. And what was truly at stake was far greater than I or anyone could have possibly imagined. Part 4. What is at stake? Approximately 900 words. The vision deepened, the celestial light receded slightly, and my focus was drawn downward, to the world of humanity. The voice was still with me, but now it was a lament, a sorrowful tone that spoke of a great wounding. It showed me the world not as a globe of land and water, but as a living, breathing being. It showed me the intricate web of life, the forests as the planet's lungs, the rivers as its veins, and the deep places of the earth as its memory, holding the records of ages. And then, I saw a creeping sickness. I saw a strange, consuming fogo. Not a flame of warmth or purification, but a cold fire, a fire of greed. This fire was not burning the forests in the way you see on your screens. It was an invisible fire, burning the spiritual roots of the world. It was consuming the sacredness of nature, turning living ecosystems into dead resources. It was a fire that burned in the hearts of men who saw a tree and thought only of lumber, who saw a river and thought only of a place to dump their waste, who saw an animal and thought only of a product. This fire was severing the golden threads that connected humanity to the earth. It was convincing you that you are separate from nature, that you are its master, when in truth, you are its child. To harm the earth is to harm yourself. To poison the rivers is to poison your own blood. How long have you felt this disconnect? When you walk in a concrete city, does a part of your soul not cry out for the green of the trees and the feel of soil beneath your feet? This is your ancient memory, your cellular knowledge that you belong to the earth, and it belongs to you. The forces of shadow have worked for centuries to make you forget this. They have built a world of artificiality, a prison of convenience, to keep you from touching your mother, the earth, because they know that if you were to truly reconnect with her, you would be flooded with a power and a wisdom that would make you immune to their illusions. Reconnecting with the earth is an act of rebellion against the kingdom of lies. The vision then showed me the consequence of this spiritual fire. As the roots of the world burned, the spirit of humanity became unanchored. People began to float, untethered from their foundation. This is the source of the anxiety that plagues your world. This is the root of the feeling of homelessness, of not belonging. You are spiritually unmoored. You are trying to build your house on the surface of a churning sea. You look for stability in money, in status, in relationships, but you find none, because the very ground beneath your spiritual feet is being consumed by this invisible fire. You are a tree with no roots, vulnerable to every passing storm. Do you see it now? The environmental crisis you face is a reflection of a deeper spiritual crisis. You cannot solve one without addressing the other. You cannot heal the planet with technology and policies alone. You must heal the relationship between your heart and the heart of the world. This requires a profound shift in consciousness, a move from a mindset of extraction to one of reciprocity. It requires you to see the divine not just in a church or a temple, but in every leaf, every drop of water, every living creature. Will you make that shift? Will you be one of those who remembers how to walk in a sacred manner upon the earth? I urge you, share this video with someone who needs to open their eyes now. We need more people to see this fire before it consumes everything. The vision was not one of hopeless despair. The voice whispered that the earth is resilient and that her healing power is immense, but she needs her human children to awaken and become her stewards once more, not her conquerors. She is waiting for you to remember the ancient pact, the sacred duty of care. The potential for healing is just as great as the potential for destruction. The choice lies with you, in your daily actions, in the way you consume, in the way you live, in the way you pray. You can choose to feed the fire of greed, or you can choose to bring the cooling water of reverence and respect. This is what is at stake. It is not just your personal salvation. It is the salvation of the soul of the world. The trumpet is not just calling for you to awaken. It is calling for you to become a guardian of life. Your personal healing journey is inextricably linked to the healing of the planet. As you heal your inner world, you will begin to heal the outer world. As you find your roots, you will help to reroot humanity. This is a task of immense importance, a purpose worthy of your magnificent soul, but you cannot do it from a place of panic or fear. You must do it from a place of deep connection and inner peace. Before this fire consumes anymore, before the world becomes any more unmoored, you need to stop for a moment. You need to anchor yourself. Part 5. A symbolic ritual of connection. Approximately 900 words. Now, I ask you to do something with me. Not just to listen, but to participate. Find a place where you can be undisturbed for just a few minutes. If you are driving or unable to do so safely, please pause and come back to this moment when you can. This is important. We are going to build a small anchor, a point of stillness in the storm of your life and the chaos of the world. We are going to open a channel to that deep, quiet wisdom you hold within. If you are able, I want you to sit or stand comfortably and gently close your eyes. Let go of the world outside. Let go of your to-do list, your worries, your plans for the rest of the day. They will be there when you return. For now, there is only this moment. This sacred now. Bring your awareness to your breath. Don't try to change it. Just notice it. Notice the air flowing in through your nose, cool and fresh. Follow it as it fills your lungs. Feel the gentle expansion of your chest and belly. And then, notice the exhale, the release, the letting go. With each exhale, imagine you are releasing the tension in your body. Release the tightness in your jaw. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your hands. With each breath out, let go of a worry. Let go of a fear. Let go of a regret. Just for now. You can pick them up later if you still want them. Now take your right hand and place it over the center of your chest, over your heart space. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you breathe out, make a soft, audible sigh. Do it again. Breathe in deeply, and release with a sigh. Feel the vibration of that sound under your hand. This is the sound of surrender, the sound of letting go of the fight. You have been fighting for so long, fighting to prove yourself, fighting to survive, fighting to control things you cannot control. Just for this moment, lay down your weapons. Be still. Under your hand, you can feel the steady rhythm of your heart. I want you to imagine that with every beat, your heart is sending out a pulse of energy, a wave of light. This is your life force. See it in your mind's eye, a gentle, warm glow radiating from your chest. With each breath, this light grows a little brighter, a little stronger. It fills your entire chest cavity. It flows up into your head, calming your thoughts. It flows down into your belly, soothing your emotions. It flows out through your arms and legs, grounding you, connecting you. You are a being of light. You have just forgotten. Now, from this place of stillness, I want you to feel a connection going down from the base of your spine or the soles of your feet deep into the earth. Imagine a root of light growing from you, down, 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 through the floor, through the foundations of the building, through the soil and the rock, all the way down to the very core of the planet, a heart of liquid crystal and light. Anchor yourself there. Feel the strength, the stability, the unconditional love of the earth flowing back up that root, into your body. Feel her telling you, you are my child. You are safe. You belong. You are not floating. You are anchored. From this anchored space, I want you to listen. Not with your ears, but with your heart. Listen to the silence behind all the noise. And in that silence, we will open a door. Imagine, right in front of you, a beautiful, ancient door. A portal. It is not locked. It is simply waiting for you to approach. This is the portal to your inner wisdom, to the voice of your soul, to the divine presence that dwells within you. As you turn the handle and gently push it open, a warm, golden light spills out, bathing you in peace. Step through. On the other side is not a place, but a feeling. The feeling of being home, the feeling of being whole, the feeling of being loved beyond measure. This is your sacred inner temple. You can come here anytime you wish. It is always waiting for you. Now, from this space, I want you to affirm your connection. Repeat in your own mind, or if you feel brave, whisper it aloud. I hear the voice. Stay here for another moment. Breathe it in. This feeling is your truth. Anything that contradicts this feeling of peace and love is part of the illusion. This is your compass. Let it guide you. When you are ready, slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Keep the feeling of peace as you gently open your eyes. You have just performed a sacred act. You have chosen connection over distraction. You have chosen peace over chaos. You have remembered how to open the door. Now that you have felt this, now that you know the way, you must decide what you are going to do with this connection. Part 6. The voice that echoes beyond time. Approximately 900 words. Do you feel the shift? Even a small one. A moment of peace in a day of turmoil is a profound victory. That ritual, that simple act of turning inward, is more powerful than you can possibly imagine. It is an act of defiance against a world that wants to keep you perpetually distracted and looking outside of yourself for answers. The architects of the veil fear nothing more than a human being who has discovered the portal within, because a person who can access their own inner wisdom can no longer be controlled by external fear. A person who can feel the unconditional love of the divine within their own heart can no longer be manipulated by the promise of conditional approval. You see, I am not a special or unique case. The visions I received, the voice I heard, were not granted to me because I was more worthy than you. They were granted because I dedicated my life to cultivating the silence where they could be received. My cell in the monastery was not a prison. It was an observatory. It was a laboratory of the soul. I was simply a vessel, a scribe, tasked with recording a message that belongs to everyone. The vase that spoke to me is the same voice that whispers to you in your moments of quiet contemplation, in the breathtaking beauty of a sunset, in the kindness of a stranger's eyes, or in the lyrics of a song that brings tears to your eyes for no reason you can explain. It is the eternal voice of truth, and it echoes through all of time, taking on different forms, speaking through different messengers, but always carrying the same core message. Remember who you are. Remember that you are love. Remember that you are all connected. This voice spoke through the prophets of old, the sages of the East, the mystics of every tradition. It speaks now through artists, poets, and quiet people who perform small acts of great love, and it speaks through you. Every time you choose compassion over judgment, courage over fear, and hope over despair, you are also a messenger. Your very life is a message to the world. What do you want it to say? The world will try to convince you that this voice is just your imagination, a product of wishful thinking. It will tell you to be realistic, to be practical, to trust only what you can see and touch and measure. This is the great lie that keeps humanity in chains. It is a philosophy of the spiritually blind. They have forgotten that the greatest forces in the universe, love, gravity, consciousness, time, are all invisible. You do not see the wind, but you see the leaves dance. You do not see love, but you feel its warmth transform your entire being. You do not have to see the divine to know its presence. You only have to feel. If you felt something during our ritual, I invite you to go back and listen to that part of this message again. Listen to it whenever you feel lost. Let it be a reminder, a key to unlock that inner door. This connection is your birthright. It is not something you have to earn or achieve. You only have to allow it. You allow it by making space for it, by turning off the noise, by walking in nature, by sitting in silence, by choosing thoughts that feel like peace instead of thoughts that feel like conflict. It is a practice, a daily discipline of turning the ship of your attention back towards the shore of your own soul. At first, it may feel difficult. The waves of habit and distraction are strong, but with each attempt, you build a new spiritual muscle. The channel becomes clearer. The voice becomes less of a whisper and more of a conversation. You will begin to receive guidance, not as booming commands from the heavens, but as intuitive nudges, a sudden urge to call a friend, a feeling that you should take a different route home, an idea for a creative project that appears out of nowhere, a book that falls off a shelf. This is how the divine communicates in the language of everyday life. It is a dance, a partnership. The universe is constantly speaking to you, offering you signs and synchronicities to guide you on your highest path. But you can only perceive them when you are tuned to the right frequency, the frequency of stillness, of openness, of trust. This is the secret that has been kept from you. You are a powerful co-creator of your reality. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a divine being, a piece of God experiencing itself, endowed with the power to choose and to create. This is your power, and this is your responsibility. The world as it is today is the result of billions of individual choices, choices made from a place of fear and separation. A new world can be born from choices made from a place of love and connection. It begins with you. It begins with the very next choice you make, but there is something that only you can decide now, and that decision will change everything. Part 7. The Moment of Choice. Approximately 1,000 words. We have arrived at the heart of the matter. We have journeyed through the silence. We have witnessed the vision. We have understood what is at stake, and we have opened the portal within. Now, you stand at a crossroads. This is not a hypothetical future choice. It is a choice you are making in this very moment, as you listen to these words. The energy of this message has brought you to a point of decision. You can no longer stand still. Either you will step forward onto a new path, or you will retreat back into the familiar comfort of the veil. There is no middle ground. The first path is the path of forgetting. It is the easier path, in the beginning. It requires you to dismiss this experience, to label it as a strange but ultimately meaningless video you watched online. It requires you to close the portal you just opened, to let the noise of the world rush back in and drown out the quiet voice of your soul. You can go back to sleep. You can continue to believe the story that you are small and powerless, that your actions don't matter, that it's better to just keep your head down and get by. The architects of the veil will reward you for this choice. They will offer you distractions, fleeting pleasures, and the illusion of security. They will praise you for being realistic and sensible. You will feel a sense of relief, the relief of laying down a great burden, but your soul will know. A quiet ache will remain, a knowledge of a great adventure refused, a great love unmet. And I saw in my vision that the portal to this kind of awakening does not remain open forever. A time comes when the path becomes obscured once more. The second path is the path of remembrance. It is the harder path in the beginning. It requires courage. It requires you to take what you have felt here today and integrate it into your life. It means choosing to make time for silence every day, even for just 5 minutes. It means questioning the narratives of fear that are fed to you by your culture. It means learning to listen to the wisdom of your heart, even when it contradicts the logic of your mind. It means having the courage to be different, to walk a path that others may not understand. It means choosing love even when you are faced with fear. It means being a source of light in a world that often seems dark. It will be challenging. Your old habits will fight back. The whispers of doubt will return. People around you may resist the changes they see in you. But the rewards of this path are beyond measure. You will not find fleeting pleasure. You will discover unshakable joy. You will not find the illusion of security. You will find true inner peace. You will not be given distractions. You will be given a profound sense of purpose. You will no longer feel like a victim of life. You will feel like its co-creator. You will stop searching for love and become a source of love. You will discover a strength you never knew you had, a wisdom that transcends knowledge, and a connection to all of life that will heal your loneliness forever. As you walk this path, you will become a beacon for others. Your light will give them permission to let their own light shine. You will become a healer of the world simply by healing yourself. Suddenly, in the vision, the great trombeta sounded a third and final time. It was a sound that was both an ending and a beginning. It was a clarion call for the final choice. It was the sound of the universe asking, "Who are you? And who do you choose to be?" The sound vibrated through every soul, and in that moment, there was no hiding. Every soul had to declare its allegiance to the illusion of separation or to the reality of unity, to fear or to love. Which path calls to you? Be honest with yourself. There is no judgment here, only a clear and loving invitation. The universe does not force your hand. Love is not coercive. Your free will is sacred, but the time for indecision is over. To not choose is to choose the path of forgetting, to be swept along by the currents of the world. To choose the light, you must make a conscious, deliberate, and powerful decision. You must plant your flag in the soil of your soul and declare, "This is who I am. This is what I stand for." If this message has touched you, if you feel the call to the second path, I ask you not only to commit in your heart, but to make it real. Share this message with someone you love, someone who you feel needs to hear this call to awaken. Let that act of sharing be your first step on the path of remembrance, This choice is the fulcrum upon which your future turns. It is the defining moment of your spiritual journey on this earth. Do not take it lightly. Feel the weight and the glory of this moment. You are at the precipice of a new life, a new reality, a new you. The old you has brought you this far. Thank it for its service, but it cannot take you where you need to go next. A transformation is required, a death of the old and a birth of the new. And it is for this reason that the next vision I was shown changed everything, because it revealed what lies on the other side of this choice. Part 8. Light after the veil. Approximately 1,100 words. After the final, decisive blast of the trumpet, the vision shifted into a state of profound peace. For those souls who chose the path of remembrance, who chose love, something miraculous happened. The veil that had clouded their perception for so long did not need to be torn away by force. It simply dissolved. Like fog in the morning sun, the illusions of fear, separation, and unworthiness evaporated in the face of their conscious choice. And what was revealed was a reality of such breathtaking beauty that my human mind could barely contain it. What they saw first was the lose, but this was not the piercing, shattering light of the initial awakening. This was a different kind of light. It was a soft, golden, all-encompassing glow. It was the light of pure, unconditional love. It radiated from everything and through everything. There were no shadows here, because the light came from within every object, every being. It was the light of the divine essence, finally revealed. And this light was not just something to be seen, it was something to be felt. It was an abrazo from the universe itself. Imagine being held in a way that communicates perfectly, without words. You are loved. You are safe. You are perfect. You are home. In this light, the souls saw each other truly for the first time. They no longer saw the masks of personality, the labels of status, race, or creed. They saw the brilliant, unique flame of the divine spirit within each person, and in seeing the divinity in others, they finally, fully recognized it in themselves. There was no judgment, no comparison, no competition. There was only awe and reverence, and a deep, joyful gratitude for the incredible diversity and beauty of creation. The golden threads of connection that they had begun to perceive before were now blazing, luminous rivers of light, connecting everyone in a magnificent, pulsating web of love. They understood that to help another was literally to help a part of themselves. To love another was to love God, and to love themselves. The illusion of separation was gone forever. They also saw the earth in its healed state. The cold fire of greed was extinguished. The spiritual roots of the world had grown back, stronger and more vibrant than before. Humanity was living in harmony with nature, not as its master, but as its loving partner. Cities were transformed, blending seamlessly with the natural world. Technology was used not for exploitation, but for healing and connection. The rivers ran clear, the air was pure, and the songs of the birds were prayers of gratitude. Humanity had remembered its role as the heart and mind of the planet, the species capable of conscious love and appreciation, and they had finally stepped into that role with humility and grace. This was not a vision of a distant, unattainable paradise in some afterlife. The voice was clear. This was a potential reality for the earth. This was the world that could be born if enough souls chose the path of remembrance. It was the promise held within the seed of this very moment. It is the world your soul aches for, the world you know in your deepest heart is possible. It is the new earth, born from the ashes of the old paradigm of fear. Do not let anyone tell you it is impossible. The only thing that makes it impossible is the belief that it is. Every act of kindness, every moment of forgiveness, every choice for love is a stone laid in the foundation of this new reality. You are building it right now, with your consciousness. This is the hope that I hold out to you. I did not cross 900 years just to bring a message of warning. I came to bring a message of magnificent, glorious possibility. I came to remind you of the prize. I came to remind you of what you are fighting for, what you are choosing. You are not just choosing to heal your own life. You are choosing to be a midwife for the birth of a new world. Your personal transformation is the key that unlocks this collective transformation. Do you understand the power you hold? Do not squander it. Do not underestimate yourself. You are infinitely more powerful than you have been led to believe. So when the path feels hard, when the whispers of doubt return, when the world seems to be consumed by darkness, I want you to remember this vision. Remember the feeling of the golden light. Remember the embrace of the universe. Remember the sight of a healed world. Let this vision be your North Star. Let it pull you forward. Let it give you the strength to take one more step, to choose love one more time. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and the creation of a new world begins with a single conscious choice. You have already made that choice in your heart. Now, you must live it. If you have journeyed with me this far, if you feel this promise resonating in your soul, I want you to declare your commitment. Write in the comments, "I will go to the end." This vision of light is not the end of the story. It is the beginning. It is the result of the choice, the flowering of the seed. It is what awaits after the struggle, after the purification. It is the dawn that is promised after the longest, darkest night. You are the bringers of this dawn. You are the light bearers, the way showers, the healers. And if you have truly come this far, if you are still listening with an open heart, then you need to hear the last whisper I was given, the final instruction for the journey ahead. Part 9, prophetic closing and hook for the next video, approximately 1,000 words. So, here we are, at the end of this message, but at the true beginning of your journey. Let these final words be not just an ending, but a prayer, a blessing, and a commissioning for your path forward. Let them settle into your bones and become a part of you. Breathe in deeply. Breathe in the courage of your ancestors, who endured unimaginable hardships so that you could be here today. Breathe out the fear that you are not strong enough. You are the culmination of 1,000 generations of resilience. You have the strength of a mountain within you. Breathe in the wisdom of the cosmos, the silent knowledge written in the stars and in the spirals of your own DNA. Breathe out the confusion and the doubt. You have access to all the wisdom you will ever need. It resides in the quiet temple of your heart. Breathe in the unconditional love of the Creator, the golden light that we saw in the vision, the grace that has sustained you, even in your darkest hours. Breathe out the belief that you are unworthy, that you are flawed, that you must earn your place. You are a perfect and beloved child of the universe. Your worth is inherent and absolute. It can never be diminished. From this day forward, I ask you to make a sacred vow to yourself. Vow to be a warrior of the heart. A warrior of the heart does not fight with anger or hatred, but with a love so fierce it dissolves all opposition. A warrior of the heart does not seek to conquer others, but to liberate them from their own fear. A warrior of the heart finds their strength not in armor and shields, but in radical vulnerability and unwavering compassion. When you encounter darkness, do not curse it. Be the light that illuminates it. When you encounter hatred, do not meet it with more hatred. Be the alchemy of love that transforms it. When you encounter despair, do not fall into it. Be the unwavering hope that shows another way is possible. Your life is now your ministry. Your every interaction is an opportunity to anchor the light, to be a living embodiment of the healed world we witnessed. Do not be overwhelmed by the scale of this task. You are not asked to save the world alone. You are asked only to be responsible for your own energy, your own choices, your own little corner of the garden. Tend to your inner world with diligence and love. Uproot the weeds of fear, judgment, and resentment. Plant seeds of kindness, gratitude, and forgiveness. Water them daily with your silent practice. As you do this, your garden will begin to bloom, and its fragrance will inspire others to begin tending their own. This is how a world is changed, not by grand, sweeping gestures, but by millions of small, conscious acts of love. And now, as we part for now, I want to leave you with one final, powerful symbol from my vision. After the embrace of the light, I saw each soul begin to shine with its own unique color and brilliance, and from this shining came a kind of rebirth. It was a renascimento of the spirit. They were no longer just human. They were becoming fully divine humans, Christed beings, Buddhas, enlightened souls. The names do not matter. They were the fulfillment of the human potential. This is your destiny, not to leave the world, but to bring heaven to earth by embodying your own divine nature. This is the great work of our time. It is the reason you are here. Do not look away. Do not shrink from this sacred calling. Your soul has been preparing for this for lifetimes. All of your experiences, both joyful and painful, have been the curriculum for this final exam. You are ready. Go forth and be the light that you are. Let your life be a testament to the power of love, a beacon of hope for a world that has forgotten its way. I will be with you. The voice of truth will be with you. The love of the Creator will enfold you always. But know this, Hildegard has not yet said everything. The visions were vast, and what I have shared today is but the first gate. What comes next? The vision of the 7 eras and the role of the children of light will be even greater, and you will need to be prepared for it.